Okay, it looks a little blurry. I hope that is not a correct thing here. Here we go. There we go. Looks a little bit better. Okay, we haven't done MP3 1965 in a while. I was just getting started and been playing Fix-Its here and Fix-Its there, and I'm also still filling with them, trying to figure out what we're going to do. But I thought I'd give you guys a quick recap real fast. I only got 3 games going so far that were done, and out of the first 3 games, the first one was the Detroit Tigers at the Kansas City A's, where Detroit won 5-4. And in that game there, Detroit put 5 runs up real quick on a 5-2 and held on to win at 5-4. Mickey Lolich got the win. Mo Drabowski got the loss. Terry Fox got a save. Mickey Lolich gave up 2 home runs, one to Ken Harrelson, the other one to Charles. And for the Detroit Tigers, Norm Cash and Don Wirt hit home runs. And that's pretty much what that game was. It was a very quick and easy game. The next one was the Yankees and the Twins. Jim Bowden versus Mike Kekich, I think it was. Jim Cott. Yankees won it 4-1 on home runs by Clete Boyer and Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle hit his in the 8th inning. Clete Boyer hit his in the 4th. For the Twins, they only had 5 hits all day long. Tony Oliva had the lone double. Jim Cott took the loss, struck out 6, but he gave up 2 home runs. Jim Bouton walked 4 and struck out 7. Hal Renouf came in and threw the save for the New York Yankees for the 1965 team that I believe finished almost dead last with the Red Sox. For the Red Sox, they played the Senators. And Bill Monbouquet beat Camille Pascual. Phil Ortega, 7-3. The Senators had a 3-0 lead, and it became a Clint Park special. The Red Sox scored 7 runs in the last 3 innings to win this one, including home runs by Tony C., Lee Thomas, and Steady Eddie Pursued. Rico Petrocelli, Carter Yastrzemski both had doubles. Dick Radis came in and got the win. Arnold Early came in and took the save. Bill Monbouquet gave up 2 home runs, Don Locke in the 2nd, Frank Howard in the 6th. Phil Ortega pitched a great ball game through 7 innings. I took him out for a pinch hitter. I probably should have left him in. You never know what the way the dice are going to throw. Ron Klein came in and proceeded to get racked. He gave up a home run to Eddie Pursued. Phil Ortega gave up to Tony C. and Lee Thomas in the 7th inning, and I think that's why I took him out. It was a great, well-played game. Our game today is going to be an unusual one. We're going to feature the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Chicago Cubs. In the original game at Wrigley Field, it was a 10-10 tie. It was called for darkness back then because Chicago didn't have night games at all. And according to my stats that I have here on this game, for opening day, only 19,751 people showed up. It was a game that went 4 hours. And it was a cloudy day. And that's how I got on there. So let's get the lineups in here. We'll get everybody up to see what's going to go on. I always check the lineups to make sure they're exactly who they're supposed to be. And they are in this case here. These are the active members for the St. Louis Cardinals, by the way, and that's what I have here. This will be the lineup. Kurt Flood will be playing center field for the St. Louis Cardinals on the visiting team. Lou Brock will be batting 2nd. He's playing left. Bill White is our first baseman today. Ken Boyer will be the 3rd baseman. Dick Grote is our shortstop. Mike Shannon is playing right field. Eventually ends up going to 3rd base, by the way, guys, if everybody remembers. Julian Javier is our 2nd baseman. Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker, is our catcher. And Bob Gibson is the pitcher. Do I have records on these guys from 1965? Yeah, if I go to Baseball Reference, I'll have them. But we're going to play this game like we should. For the Chicago Cubs, Glenn Beckert will be our 2nd baseman. Roberto Pena is the shortstop. Billy Williams is out in center field. Ron Santos is at 3rd. George Altman's our left fielder. Mr. Cup, Ernie Banks, let's play 2, is at 1st. Doug Clemens is the right fielder. Dick Bertel is our catcher. And the pitcher is Larry Jackson. And we got the line. It's all set. This just tells you 1 to 9. That's all it is. Don't worry about it. And it gives you the ratings too, by the way, so it's not bad. As I get used to this. Keep in mind that as I'm learning out, MP3 is APPA baseball, by the way, guys. So somewhere along the line, I need to learn how to play that game, and I would rather not, if I can avoid it, not play it on the computer. I don't think I like the computer's type. I would like to learn the real game. Then I could attend tournaments. Anyway, here we go, guys. Here we go. We are at Wrigley Field. And Beat Max, how's it going? Welcome to NP3 1965. Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field facing the St. Louis Cardinals. Kirk Flood is our first batter of the game for the 1965 season, and it's a 44. And he starts out with a great single, hits over the first baseman, Bernie banks his head, and he gets a single into right field. Flood is on first. We used a little C method here, which means these guys will tell me who steals win. And I've had some strange stolen bases in playing it this way, and some strange caught stealings. Lou Brock is up. Here is the pitch to Brock to start his season off. It's a 23. And he hits it over towards Jackson. Jackson fires out to our shortstop for the forced play at second base. Lou Brock will take first on that. He'll take the sacrifice. He'll take the save first. And that is counted 1 to 6 for all you guys keeping score. 1 to 6. Flood is out. Brock's on first. And coming up to bat will be Bill White. Bill White we don't know much about because I'm not really looking hard, and I should, but I'm not going to. Here's the pitch. It is a 66. And Bill White hits it, heading out towards left field. It's going out. The wind is carrying it over the ivy. It is a 2-run shot for the St. Louis Cardinals in the first inning. And at first inning is 2-0. Bill White hits his first home run of the season. And the Cardinals have a 2-0 lead. Coming up to bat is Ken Boyer. Ken Boyer, who had 2 brothers also play at one time, Floyd and Cleet. Floyd was a pitcher. Cleet we know is with the Yankees. Here is the pitch to Ken Boyer. It's a 43. And Ken Boyer dribbles one out to Jackson. Jackson fires over the banks for the out. We have 2 down. Due up to bat is Dick Grote. Dick Grote, I have in who I have him in. I have him in the 1956 league. He's playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates then, doing a pretty good job too, by the way. And here is the pitch to Grote. It's a 54. We have a possible error coming out of this one. Not going to happen this time. Dick Grote flies out shallow over towards the right field. Clemens looks up. He's got it covered. And we have 3 down. But the St. Louis Cardinals score the first blood up here in this rivalry game. 2-0 on a Bill White home run. Coming up to bat opening up for the Chicago Cubs will be Glenn Beckert, Roberto Pena, and Williams. Glenn Beckert's coming up to bat. Bob Gibson's our pitcher. Strong pitcher, too, by the way. Throws a lot of strikeouts. Here is the pitch. It's a 26. And Beckert hits it out towards left field. Brock is gunning it down, and he makes the play. And we have 1 down in the top bottom of the first inning. Roberto Pena is our batter. He's our shortstop. And he had an on-base percentage of .291 in his season in 1965. Here is the pitch. It's a 31. And Bob Gibson fires that pitch, and it goes high and tight on the inside, but it is ball 4. And Bob Gibson's giving his usual wonderful glare that he loves to give when things are not going exactly his way. I think future baseball players may have learned that little thing, especially some guy from Boston named Clemens. Billy Williams is our batter up here. Slugging percentage of .552. This man can hit home runs. Here is the pitch. It is a 65. And it will be a walk. Bob Gibson has issued out his second walk of the game. We have runners on first and second for the Cubs. There is 1 down. Coming up to bat is Ron Santo. Ron Santo's our third baseman for the Cubs this year. He also had a little bit of a pop. Played all 164 games. I'm not sure what happened there. They must have had tie games in 1965. Actually, they did. This was a 10-10 tie. Here is the pitch to Santo. It's a 52. And Santos strikes out. There's Gibson's first strikeout of the season. Coming up to bat will be George Altman, the number 5 hitter, playing left field for the Cubs. Gibson's ready. Pena's on second. Williams is on first. They're going to be taken off with 2 down. Here's the pitch. It's a 43. And Altman hits towards Gibson. Gibson pops it out throws it out over toward first base. Bill White, and we have 3 down at the end of 1 inning. It is the St. Louis Cardinals 2, the Chicago Cubs nothing. Coming up to bat for the St. Louis Cardinals will be Mike Shannon, Julio Javier, and Bob Uecker. We have a 2-0 lead here in Chicago. I'm going to sit there playing Harry Carey, having an old style. I'm starting to get drunk before the 7th inning stretch, so I can sing a terrible song. And here is the pitch to Shannon. Mike Shannon has a possible going to a possible air range here. Not going to make it. He hits a weak pop out towards our second baseman. Glenn Beckert, he's got it very easily, and we have 1 down. Anybody that doesn't remember, when I was at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois, which is 20 miles outside of St. Louis, I got to see all of the Cardinal games, and back then you had to pay for the baseball packages, unlike now. Mike Shannon was the color commentator for Jack Buck, over there for the ball games. Did a pretty decent job, too. Julio Javier is up to bat. Here is the pitch. It's a 42. And Jackson strikes out Javier. We have 2 down, top the 2nd inning in a 2-0 game for the Cardinals. Mr. Baseball here, as we all know him as. Funny man. I still like him. I don't care. He did a great job in all the Major League movies. I think he did pretty good to do that. Here's the pitch to Bob Uecker. 65. And he hits a high pop-up foul heading out towards the first base line. Banks is heading over. He reaches over the dugout and makes the catch on a foul ball by Bob Uecker. There is 3 down. At the end of 1.5, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 2, the Chicago Cubs nothing. Coming up to bat for Chicago will be Ernie Banks, Clemens, and Bertel. We're at a beautiful day in Wrigley Field here in the north side of Chicago on Alpha Addison Street. Here is the pitch to Banks. It's a 41. And Banks slaps it out towards the shortstop. Groth fires it over to White, and we have 1 down. Barely getting Banks, but he got him anyway. 6-3 will be for all you scorekeepers. Doug Clemens is our better playing right field for Chicago. Had an on-base percentage of 300. It was not. My board says he can hit home runs, but it says his slugging percentage is like 288. Here's the pitch. 16. And Clemens also slaps it out to Groth. Groth fires it over to White. We have 2 down. And we have a nice little triangle going here. Coming to bat will be Dick Bertel, the catcher for the Chicago Cubs. Like most catchers, he didn't have much, and we're going to take some looksies at the next time. Here is the pitch to Bertel. And it is a 42. And Bob Gibson strikes out Dick Bertel for his 2nd strikeout of the season. 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 2 full innings, it is 2-0. Coming up to bat for the St. Louis Cardinals will be Bob Gibson himself, Kurt Flood, and Lou Brock. And I'm going to flip into here real quick, see what I can do here for it. There we go. Okay, I can do it this way. There we go. All right. Bob Gibson, I'm going to finally come out and open my big mouth with this stuff. Bob Gibson, 1965. He actually hit 240 for real. I don't know if he's going to do that with me throwing like this. 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. Actually managed to steal 2 bases. Pretty decent hitter. Had a slugging percentage of 404. On base percentage of 665. Or, no, 261. Had his OPS was 665. And here is the pitch to Gibson. It's a 51. Gibson hits it up, and it gets high up in the air. A Major League pop-up going out towards Santos. Santos picks it up and makes the catch. We have 1 down in the top of the 3rd inning. And let's see what else we got going on here today. I love talking the history beat, just like you. You know that. We can always enjoy that. That's what makes it fun, because we both know the game. We enjoy the game. We've learned the game, and that's very, very important to both of us. That's why MP3, which is a I'm not going to lie. MP3 is a stats geek's wet dream. Okay? I heard somebody praise Action PC. These guys got him beat for the stats. For the play, he's working on it. Give Cyrus a chance. Cyrus works very hard at this game. I think he came out of APPA and set this up for us. I'm glad he did. So I have no problems with that. Curt Flood is our batter, top the second inning in 1965. He batted .310 for the St. Louis Cardinals. Had an on-base percentage of .366. Slugging percentage of .421. 11 home runs, 83 RBIs. Had 30 doubles, so the man can run. He only had 9 stolen bases. Almost had 200 hits. Keeping in mind that in 1965, I think that's when Busch Stadium first opened. I'm not sure. The first Busch Stadium, the Busch Stadium that became the cookie cutter beat. But for the first couple of years, it was grass. It was not turf. He did all that on a grass field. Here is the pitch. It's a 62. And Curt Flood grounds out. He's heading out towards on the ball there towards Banks. Banks picks it up. Steps on the bag, and Flood is out. Coming up is Lou Brock. Lou Brock, the first time out, he reached on the fielder's choice to Curt Flood, and then scored on Bill White's 2-run home run. Lou Brock himself in 1965 batted .288. 16 home runs, 69 RBIs. The man had 8 triples, which did not lead the major leagues, by the way, 35 doubles. He stole 63 bases, got caught 27 times. This man was a running fool. I don't care what you want to call him. He was hit 10 times. He's had 11 sacrifice hits, so the man does give for the team. Can't go wrong with that. I do believe he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm glad he is. Very, very enjoyable player to watch. Back then, even though he did beat my Red Sox, here's the pitch. It's a 43. And Lou Brock hits it out to Jackson. Jackson fires over the Banks. And another 1-3 play here. That's the second one of the game. That's the third assist by Jackson today. And we have a 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 2.5, it is the Cardinals 2, the Chicago Cubs nothing. Coming up to bat is Larry Jackson himself. I need to set something up real quick for myself so I don't make myself crazy. Not that hard to do these days. Okay, back to 1965. Major Leagues. Now just go to Chicago Cubs. There we go. And I've got the rosters right there. Larry Jackson himself batted. Let me see if I can find him here. Okay. Larry Jackson batted .128. Did manage to hit a home run. So pitchers back then could hit on something. It just wasn't their forte, so they didn't practice it enough. He actually ended up in 49 games, so he did do some relief work too, which is typical back in 1965. Still starting pitchers were also required to be middle relievers when the games got bad. Larry Jackson is our batter today, though. And here is the pitch by Bob Gibson. It's a 21. Larry Jackson hits it out towards left field. Lou Brock is chasing it down, and he makes the play. That is one down. In the bottom of the third inning, coming up to bat will be Glenn Beckert. First time up, Glenn Beckert flew out also to Curt Flood. Wind seemed to may have caught back, unless Bill White just hit a rocket shot out there, which is what it's starting to look like here for Wrigley Field, especially in April, because Chicago weather in April, usually the wind came in, not out. It's just like Fenway in April. Here's the pitch to Beckert the second time up, and it is a 63. Beckert smacks it out towards center field, is heading out towards the wall, and it starts to drop down real quick. Flood has it, and he makes the catch. Wind caught it, and just a killer on the play. And he flies out towards it. Ends up being just a long fly ball. Coming up is Roberto Pena. Roberto Pena walked his first time up. Gibson does have 2 walks, and it'll go along with his 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch to Pena. It's a 12. And Gibson pays back. Struck him out. Gibson's third strikeout. 1-2-3 inning again for the Cubs. And at the end of 3 innings, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 2, the Chicago Cubs nothing. And Beetle, to tell you the truth, the reason why I picked 1965 was for Sandy Koufax. It was pretty much almost his last year in. It was his last no-hitter. He had thrown 5 by then. It was his last no-hitter, and he actually did against the Cubs sometime later on in the season. I'm hoping if we get a chance that pops up and recreate, the dice will let me recreate it. I played by the dice. I played fair. I'm eventually going to get a camp so you guys can see the dice rolls. I got to talk to Honey Bunny about that. Right now we are in a little tight spot. We just paid $352 to kill a cat. So, unfortunately, it's one of my buddies. So we had to put one down. Here is the pitch. We're coming up to the top of the 4th inning. That is Bill White, Ken Boyer, and Dick Grope. Ken White is first time up. Smacked the 2-run shot out of the left field wall. Here is the pitch to White. It's a 42. And Jackson was going to take that chance, tried to pitch careful, got a little bit too careful, and walked Bill White. We have a runner on first base. Ken Boyer is our batter. The last time up, he grounded weakly to Jackson, who fired over 2. First. And we're going to see what we can do here in the bottom of the 4th inning, or top of the 4th inning. We still got a good one going here. Here's the pitch to Boyer. It's a 52. Ken Boyer hits over towards third base. Sandoval picks up, fires over to Becker. Becker fires over to Banks. We have a 5-4-3 double play. We have 2 down on a great round the horn double play by the Chicago Cubs. Slick fielding all the way around the board. Good turn by our second baseman. Coming up to bat will be Dick Grote. Dick Grote is 0 for 1. He flew out to the right fielder. Here is the pitch. 26. And Dick Grote smacks it out to right field one more time. It's good, caught down by Clemens as the ball starts drifting out towards the stands. And he makes the catch. 1-2 then. What started out as a walk ended up being a 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 3.5, it is the St. Louis Cardinals 2, the Chicago Cubs nothing. Due up to bat for the Chicago Cubs is Billy Williams, Ron Santos, and Altman. Bob Gibson's out there. He's having a great opening day this year. Good for him. And Billy Williams in 1965. I know I forgot to do something here, guys. Sorry about that. Billy Williams hit 34 home runs, 108 RBIs, batted .315 for the Chicago Cubs, had 203 hits. During that time, goes on 39 doubles. Could steal a little bit, not bad. He had 10. He also has a tendency to ground into double plays. Here is the pitch to Williams. It's a 23, and Williams hits out to our second baseman, Javier. Javier fires over to White. We have one down in the bottom of the 4th inning. In a great 2-0 game by the Cardinals. A good pitcher's duel forming up today. Due up here is Ron Santo. Ron Santo in 1965, a third baseman. I had his baseball card at one time, too. 33 home runs, 101 RBIs. Batted .285 for the Cubbies. 30 doubles, very decent man to hit. Somebody needs to tell Al we got something more important here. Baseball. Who the heck watches football? Here is the pitch to Ron Santo. It's a 44. And Ron Santo gets the first hit of the season for the Chicago Cubs on a nice little base hit, heading out over to right field. Nice slapper over, gets in between the second and first. Mike Shannon grabs up, fires it back in. And the Cubs have their first runner on for first base hit on for the game. George Altman's up to bat here. Gibson's looking around, getting ready to see what's going to happen. George Altman is 0 for 1 today. He has grounded out to the pitcher, Bob Gibson. We have one down. Cubbies are going to try something tricky here on a hit and run play. Here is the pitch. It's a 64. And it is going to be a double play. God, I hate this one. I'm going to get caught with this more often than not. Altman strikes out. Ron Santos is heading to second. It was on a hit and run. Altman was supposed to hit the ball. And he didn't, and he is out on a 2-6 play out there. Try to steal. We have 3 out on a very, very poorly executed hit and run. That'll be the last time I try that one. At the end of 4 innings, it is still the St. Louis Cardinals 2 runs, 2 hits. Chicago Cubs 0, no runs, 1 hit on a poor double play. Strikeout by Gibson. That is his 4th of the season. Mike Shannon is coming to bat. He is 0 for 1 playing right field. Oh, God. Sometimes you try. Yeah, actual trip was ugly. Jester, how's it going? Good to see you guys. Because I'm hoping to see more of the stadiums go back that way too. I really am. But the parks I see now, I like. They don't have unfortunately, they don't have the real homeliness of Wrigley and Fenway, but that's okay. You can only make one Wrigley and one Fenway. Koufax had a nasty curve and he had a wicked fastball. It's a shame that he blew his elbow up with the arthritis. They ended up cutting his career short. He was one of the great ones. Never pitched on Saturday, by the way, if anybody ever knew. And yes, Ernie Banks and Billy Williams, both though, they got to play in a lot of All-Star games. My God, I'm glad they got to play. Okay, we are in the top of the 4th inning here. Let me get back into my game. We're in the top of the 5th. Mike Shannon's coming to bat. I am trying to get some stats for everybody real quick so you guys know what I'm dealing with here. Mike Shannon played right field for our St. Louis Cardinals, batted .221. He gives a better third baseman right fielder in my eyes, but that's my own opinion. He had 25 RBIs, 3 home runs. He was 25 back then. Let me see his fielding totals. I can probably find him right here. Yeah, he had a few things going for him. There we go. Actually, only had 1 error, 6 assists. He had a good arm. .995 fielding average, so he did well. Okay, here we go. The pitch to Mike Shannon. It's a 65. Possible error. Possible error, guys. 36. And no, Mike Shannon puts it out towards third base side, heads towards the foul line. And Ron Santos runs over and gets over there by the bullpen, makes the catch, and we have one down. In a very tight game that's being well played by both teams. And Jester, if you weren't around when this game I know you weren't, you ain't old enough, but according to Baseball Reference, this game here ended up a 10-10 tie for an opening day game. And the stadium was not filled back then. So not sure what happened to baseball in '65. Julian Javier's the batter. He struck out his last time out to Jackson. Here's the pitch. It's a 15. Julian Javier smacks that head, gets over past Jackson over second base, and it's a base hit for Javier. We have one down in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Javier's on first. Bob Uecker's up to bat. I love doing his stats, guys. I'm sorry. Mr. Baseball batted .228, probably his highlight of his entire career. Had 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. When he hits, out of his 33 hits, 9 of them were for extra bases, so 25% of his hits were very good. He did have a .317 slugging percentage, so it's not bad. He just was a lousy batter. The primary catcher back then was Tim McCarver, if everybody remembers him. Some guy does baseball now. We won't go there. Anyway, Bob Uecker's our catcher, and obviously, let's do the obvious thing. Let's get Javier on second. It's a bunt. And he does make the sacrifice, bunted over towards third base. Third base couldn't get in there in time, and we have 2 down. Javier's on second. The pitch bat is Bob Gibson, our pitcher, which means I may or may not have made a mistake. So Gibson, the last time up, popped out to our third baseman Ron Santo. We have 2 down in the 5th inning. Here is the pitch. It's a 24. Now, yes, Jackson turns around and he fires a curveball on Gibson. Makes him full belly, swings and a miss. Strike 3, and that is the end of the 5th inning. Top 5th. It's an official game, as I like to remind everybody at every game I do. Because if this game comes up or something crashes, it's a game that counts. At the end of 4.5 innings, it is the Cardinals 2, the Cubs nothing. Up to bat will be Ernie Banks, Clemens, and Bertel. Last time out, Ernie Banks, he grounded out to our shortstop, Dick Grote. Here we go, bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch to Banks. It's a 31. And Ernie Banks smacks it up, gets over the shortstop, over Grote's head, and drops down into the outfield for a base hit. That's the 2nd hit of the game for the Cubs. Ernie Banks is on first. And for anybody, just for the stats here, Ernie Banks batted back then. Normally he was the first baseman, so this is different. You know, he batted .265. Remember, he was getting towards the end of his career. 28 home runs, 106 RBIs. 25 doubles to go with that. Didn't really steal much then. In this case, he didn't mind. He always, if everybody remembers his favorite saying, let's play two. Doug Clemens, our right fielder. Doug Clemens for the Cubs, and I can look this up real quick here. He was not the original starter, though he'd gotten quite a few games. He batted .221 for a poor hitting Cubs team for as much as the rookie field was. 4 home runs, 26 RBIs. He did strike out 53 times. Not much on the sacrifice hit stage either. So, here is the pitch to Clemens. It is a 32. Clemens hits out towards our second baseman. Javier fires over to the shortstop. Grope tries to fire it back in, but he does not get the double play in time. Doug Clemens reaches on the fielder's choice. Banks is out 4-6. Due up the bat is Dick Bertel, the catcher. Dick Bertel, also in 1965. I can see if I can find him real quick because there's stuff down here. He batted .214. The catching core, if anybody recognizes, we saw stuff from Johnny Bench when he first came around. Yogi Berra when he was there were not hitters. They were here for defense. Dick Bertel struck out his last time up. Here is the pitch. It's a 66. And as they're saying, he didn't hit a home run, so he stays on double. There are runners now on second and third. Bertel is on. Clemens is on third. Bertel's on second with the double. Larry Jackson's our batter. Runs are on second, third. There's the third Cubs hit. Jackson's out there now. Infield is going to come into play for the play at the plate to keep the shutout going. Here is the pitch to Jackson. It's a 65. And Gibson walks Jackson. The bases are loaded. Gibson walks Jackson. One away. The Cubs are threatening royally. It's the 5th inning. Glenn Beckett's our batter. He is 0 for 2 today. Fly out the left, fly out the center. Here we go. Here is the pitch. Infield is in. And Beckett hits it to our pitcher. Gibson gets him, fires 2 home, gets the forced play. All the runners advance. 1-2. Clemens is out. Gibson to our catcher Euchre. Beckett's on also with the fielder's choice. Bases are still loaded. Roberto Pena's up to bat. Here comes the Cubs again. Infield is 2 out. The infield will not be in the way this game is played. Here is the pitch to Pena. It's a 52. And Gibson throws a clutch strikeout on Pena. That's the second time for Pena. The St. Louis Cardinals hold. It is 2-0 St. Louis at the end of 5 on great work after Gibson's poorly pitched in here. On a threatening in the 5th inning. And he comes back and fielder choice, strikeout. Due up the bat for the Cardinals will be Curt Flood, Lou Brock, Bill White. We are in the top of the 6th inning on a very, very tight ball game. That was a great 5th inning. Coming back here is Curt Flood. He is 1 for 2 today. He got a base hit in the 1st inning. Here is the pitch, 64. And Jackson strikes out Flood. Great way to start the 6th inning. Jackson is just ugly right now. Poor hitting by the Cubs. They had the shot to come up and take the lead. He is just fuming. Lou Brock is up. Lou Brock is 0 for 2 today. Reached on the fielder's choice and grounded out to Jackson. Here's the pitch. 43. And Lou Brock grounds out to Jackson. Jackson fires it over to first base real quickly. We have 2 down. Jackson's trying to get the team back in, see if we can get them going and get them started till we can get the game running here for the Cubs side of the house. Bill White is up. He is 1 for 1. He homered in the 1st inning. 2-run blast over the left field wall, the ivy. Walked in the 4th. Here is the pitch. It's a 52. And White grounds his out towards Santos. Santos scarfs the ball up, fires over to first, and we have a 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 5 1/2, it is The St. Louis Cardinals 2, the Chicago Cubs nothing. Coming up to bat for the Chicago Cubs will be Billy Williams, Ron Santos, and Allman. And we are having a wonderful game here. Oh my God, Pete, I'm older than you. Oh my. What, besides probably getting thrown out of a ball game? I want to say that he probably gave the. I know Christy Mathis ended up being the manager, I think, after him. I want to say that he. You know something? Give it to me. You got me on this one, there, guy. I'm not going to stop and look that one up. I won't cheat. That's just not my style. Though I probably do have a book on here. I could probably find it real quick. I have the player's book, by the way. Hang on. Give me a second here, guys. Time out for about 30 seconds. Okay, guys, what I have, and this was written back in the 1980s, I believe, I'm not sure. It's called The Ball Players, the Baseball Ultimate Biographical Reference. It was written in... Yeah. Come on, where is that page? It was written in 1990. My Honey Bunny bought it for me. I got it at a Goodwill for like $3. And it's got every ball player that's ever played, including a couple anecdotes in there. I use this for a lot of my trivia questions, by the way. I ain't going to lie. And it was a... I'm hoping I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble this week, and I'm going to see if there's a chance I might be able to find an updated copy, plus an updated copy of the Baseball Encyclopedia. Not even the Baseball Encyclopedia. I found something better. The Baseball Encyclopedia has better stats in it, too. But yeah, John McGraw, oh my God. They have a story and everything on him. Alright, Beatles, what was it? Because it ain't showing it in here. Oh, I gave it to Bill Terry, the first baseman. Okay. Yeah, that one I got here is called Total Baseball. If you guys ever find it, get it and read it. It's got a lot of good information in there, including some great stories about baseball itself. Anyway, where were we here? We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Coming up to bat is Billy Williams, Ron Santos, and Altman. Here is the pitch to Williams. It's a 15. And Billy Williams pops out over the center field, over the head. Drops in front of Flood. Flood fires it back in, and Billy Williams on with his first hit of the season. He was 0 for 1. By the way, he grounded out to the second baseman in the 4th inning and walked. Coming up to bat is Ron Santo. Ron Santo last time out hit a base hit and was caught in a double play on a very poorly executed hit and run. Here is the pitch to Ron Santo. It's a 13. And he walks. Bob Gibson's 4th walk of the game. Billy Williams moves to second. The Cubs are getting ready to threaten again. It is a 2-0 game, but it's still not warm enough to bring him out until he hits a D rate. George Altman is in here. George Altman is 0 for 2. He struck out the last time up, if everybody remembers. And there are no out. We're going to bunt everybody over. It's a 41. And Altman pops out on a sacrifice. Runner from second goes to first. Runner first second. And he grounded out to the third baseman on a very clean ground ball. On a bunt, fires over to Boyer. Boyer fires over to White for the out. And everybody advances the base. Altman will get the sacrifice hit. 5-3. Coming up to bat is Ernie Banks. Ernie Banks is 1 for 2 today. He got into a base hit his last time up, and was out on the fielder's choice. Here is the pitch by Gibson to Banks. It's a 33. We have a chance here. It's 1965. Depends on what happens. It's a 41. And no, Ernie Banks though. Ernie Banks hits it out towards right field. As it heads towards the back, it gets past Shannon, hits the bricks on the right field side. Shannon has to fire it in. Ernie Banks will take second base, but Billy Williams and Ron Santo both score. We have a 2-2 tie in the bottom of the 6th inning. There is one down. Banks is on second on a great double over right field. Gets past Shannon. We have a 2-2 tie. Coming up to bat is Doug Clemens. Doug Clemens, last time up, he hit into a fielder's choice, and he's grounded out. He's 0 for 2. Here is the pitch to Clemens. It's a 15. And Clemens grounds it, hits it out to White. White's turn around, looks at it, can't get the Banks over third, but he can make the unassisted play at first. Banks will take third. Clemens is out, 3 unassisted. Coming up to bat is Dick Bertel, our catcher, in a 2-2 ball game. Dick Bertel today is 1 for 2. He did double in the 5th inning, so he does have a bat. Struck out in the 2nd. 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here is the pitch to Bertel. It's a 53. And he singles. Hits it out towards deep short. Gets past the head. On an infield hit. Banks scores. And we have a 3-2 Cubs lead. They came in and took it back. Ernie Banks. Larry Jackson, who was also pitching a gem out here today, is up. He is due to bat. We are not going to take him out of the game as of this time. On a great hit by Bertel, the clutch hit just over the shortstop. He is 2 for 3 now. He is playing way out his league. Here's the pitch to Jackson. It's a 23. And Jackson hits it out towards center field. Brock makes the catch, and we have 3 away, but not before the Cubs scored 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 walk. There were 1 man left. It is the Cubs 3, the St. Louis Cardinals 2. We have a ball game, folks. They came back. Let's hear it for the Cubbies. Coming into the top of the 7th, it is Ken Boyer, Dick Grote, Mike Shannon. Jackson will stay on the mound. He's pitching a gem. I'm not going to yank him out. I know they say the D rating, but who cares? It's my game. Here is the pitch to Boyer. It is a 43. And Boyer backs up to Jackson. Jackson scoops it up, fires over to Banks. We have 1 down. Coming up to bat will be Dick Grote. Dick Grote is flied out to right field twice. On a 3-2 game, here we go. Here's the pitch by Jackson to Grote. It's a 14. Possible error. Not going to happen. Dick Grote heads out to left field. Altman's looking. He bears it down. He has the catch. There is now 2 down in the top of the 7th inning. Mike Shannon's up to bat. He is 0 for 2. He has popped out to the second baseman and fouled out to the third baseman. Here is the pitch to Shannon. It is a 46. And Jackson strikes him out. At the end of 6.5, it is a 3-2 Cub lead. Coming up to bat for the Cubs will be Beckert, Pena, and Williams. And that was great. Bill Clem, I like him. I'm not surprised at McGraw about that. And I'm still older than you. I'm 62. We've got ourselves a ball game, folks. The reason why I'm not taking these guys out, if you saw the real box score for this game, oh my God. If it gets to that stage, though, I will try to follow the box score as best I can, including pitchers and pinch hitters if I were going to bring them in. And I will probably be bringing them in as the game gets towards the end. Coming up to bat for our beloved Chicago Cubs is Glenn Beckert. Glenn Beckert is 0 for 3 today. Reached on the fielder's choice in the 5th inning, though. And flew out twice. Here's the pitch. It's a 35. Gibson's still in there, and Beckert strikes out. That is Gibson's 6th strikeout of the game. To go along with his 4 walks that have been very, very untimely. Due up is Roberto Pena. He is 0 for 2. He walked in the 1st inning and struck out twice. Here is the pitch. It's a 66. 66, as everybody knows, in this game is never good for the opposing team. 25 coming back out, and Pena hits it out deep into left center field, heading out towards the wall. It gets there, it gets stuck a little bit underneath the ivory. Back then there was no ground rule for that. Pena's heading around towards third, and he comes in flying, and he is safe at third base with a triple. Roberto Pena hits a triple in the top of the 7th inning. He's on third base. Due up to bat is Billy Williams. The Cardinal infield again will be playing in, as I like to play it that way. It makes the game more interesting, by the way. Here is the pitch to Williams. It's a 46. And Gibson strikes out Williams for his 7th strikeout of the game of the season. And the game coming up to bat is Ron Santo. Ron Santo is 1 for 2. He has walked once, he has struck out once, he has scored a run. And he walked. Here is the pitch to Santo. We have 2 down. Here it goes. It's a 33. And this one is going to be trouble. Here is the pitch. It's a 62. It's a double before. It looks like it's heading out back to the wall. What's going to happen? Is it heading out? No, it hits there and it bounces off the top of the wall, falls back into the game, falls back into the field, and the Chicago Cubs score another run on a Ron Santo double. Pena scores. We have 2 down. It's 4-2 now Chicago. Ron Santo is on second. Gibson's starting to get tired. Altman's up to bat with 2 out. We're going to try to get Gibson to finish the inning. Here is the pitch. It is a 31. And Altman walks. That's his first walk on him. It's Gibson's 5th walk of the season. And we are going to relieve Gibson. So I should wait till the end of the inning. Let me see what we got in here. Let's see who we got, guys. Told you I promised I'd try to keep it to the game. The next pitcher that came in for Bob Gibson was a pitcher named Ron Taylor, and he did bat. So I can leave him in there if I want. And Taylor's not here at this time. No, he's not. I don't have him in there. So I don't have him. I cannot use him. I will have to look that up and see what happened. The next pitcher after that was Tracy Stallard. Tracy Stallard will be coming in. We'll look up his stats real quick. Let me write that name down. Give me a sec here, guys. I got to write a name down. I keep notebooks right beside me for this very purpose. Then I can go after retro sheet. Ron Taylor. I'll have to look him up to see why I don't have him picked off. That's not right. I'll have to take a look. Okay, Tracy Stallard's coming in. Tracy Stallard for the St. Louis Cardinals. Back then. I can look. There we go. Tracy Stallard, 1965. He actually was. I believe he pitched for the Red Sox. Yes, he did. Finished out the season. He was for the St. Louis Cardinals. He was 11-8. Involved in 40 games. He actually started 26 of them. 99 strikeouts to go along with 70 walks. Had an ERA of 3.38. So he had a decent ERA. Had 4 complete games. He just had the windless luck of being the trivia question in 1961, which was Roger Maris's 61st home run for a very poor Boston Red Sox team. This is when they were really starting to fall apart. Here is the pitch to Ernie Banks. 2 down. Bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 31. Those are Gibson's runners, by the way. And Ernie Banks beats out an infield hit as fast as he could go, heading out towards shortstop. Beats it out. The bases are loaded. On an infield hit by Ernie Banks. Bases loaded. Doug Clemens is up. He is 0 for 3 today. Here is the pitch to Clemens by Tracy Stallard. It's a 64. And Stallard strikes out Clemens. End of the inning, but the Chicago Cubs score another run on the double by Ron Santos after a great Pena triple out towards left center. Going into the top of the 8th inning. Larry Jackson is still on the mound. It is the Chicago Cubs 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The St. Louis Cardinals 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Jackson's pitching a gem out there. And here we go. The pitching playing for the Cardinals will be Julian Javier, Bob Uecker, and more likely not, if anybody did reach base, will be a pinch hitter for Stallard. Here is the pitch to Julian Javier. He is today 1 for 2. He singled his last time up in the 5th inning. We are in the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch. It's a 35. And Jackson strikes out Javier for his 5th strikeout of the game. Coming up to bat will be Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker today is 0 for 1. He has a sacrifice hit, and he fouled out to the first baseman. Here is the pitch to Uecker. 54. Possible error. Not going to happen. And Bob Uecker hits it out towards right field. Very lazy fly ball. Clemens is up there waiting for it. Here is the out. We are going to bring in a pinch hitter for Stallard. I don't care. Like I said, it's my game. I can do that. And the pinch hitter for the Cardinals didn't have any pinch hitters for Tracy Stallard, but I do have a pinch hitter I can use because I don't really go into the other changes either. Tito Francona will be coming in to pinch hit for Tracy Stallard. That was the only pinch hitter that the Cardinals used in that game. So we'll go to Stallard. Tito Francona will be pinch hitting. He's coming into the game. And Tito Francona for the St. Louis Cardinals in 1965. Batted .259, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. Got involved in 81 games. Did pretty well. Struck out 30 times, walked 17. He's a pretty good man. Traded to a lot of teams and was a real good source for a lot of the teams. Here is the pitch to Francona with 2 down in the top of the 8th. It's a 43. And he hits it out towards Jackson. Jackson again gets over some banks. That is the 3rd out of the inning. We are at the end of 7.5 innings. It is the Chicago Cubs 4, the St. Louis Cardinals 2. Coming in to pitch for the St. Louis Cardinals will be Barney Schultz. Barney Schultz is the 3rd pitcher of the game for the Cardinals. In 1965, Schultz. There we go. Schultz was 2-2. Got involved in 34 games. Finished 18 of them. Had 2 saves. ERA of 3.83. Struck out 38. Walked 11. Good control. Only had 1 wild pitch. Has, though, because of his control, has been known to give up a few gopher balls. He gave up 8 gopher balls in 42 innings, which is 1 every 5 innings. That is not very good. Due up is Bertel, Jackson, and Beckert. Here is the pitch to Bertel. It is a 64. And Barney Schultz strikes out Bertel. That is his first strikeout of the season. Larry Jackson is our batter against Schultz. Larry Jackson's pitching a gem. Let's not take the man out. Here's the pitch to Jackson from Schultz. It's a 46. And Barney Schultz strikes out Jackson. That's 2 strikeouts for the inning for Barney Schultz. He's doing well for the Cardinals this year. Glenn Beckert. Glenn Beckert is 0 for 4. He has a fielder's choice. Flown out twice. Struck out in the 7th. Here's the pitch. It's a 25. And Glenn Beckert hits it out towards left center field. Gets over there into a gap. Brock is able to run it down and holds Beckert to a base hit. Glenn Beckert is on first base. Roberto Pena is coming up to bat. Last time up, he hit a triple, scored the 4th run for the game. Struck out twice. He's walked previously. Here is the pitch to Pena from Barney Schultz. It's a 46. And Barney Schultz struck out his third man of the inning. At the end of 8 innings, it is the Chicago Cubs 4, the St. Louis Cardinals 2, in a well-played game today here at Wrigley Field. Both teams are playing clean baseball. Due up to bat for the St. Louis Cardinals is Curt Flood, Lou Brock, Bill White, basically the meat of St. Louis order, even though they're not 3, 4, and 5. Jackson is back on the mound again to pitch 9th inning. He's going to try to finish this one off. Curt Flood's the batter. Here's the first pitch to Flood. It's a 52. And Curt Flood hits it out towards Ron Santos. Santos able to slash it down on his right-hand side. Turn around, flip, fire over to the first base. We have one down. Lou Brock, the ever-dangerous Lou Brock, is up to bat. He is today 0 for 3, though. He has scored a run on a fielder's choice. He has grounded out twice to the pitcher. Here is the pitch to Brock. It's a 35. And Brock gets a single on, is hitting out, here we go. Brock gets a single, pops out over the shortstop's head. Roberto Pena's it, but he gets over, he couldn't reach up in time. Alvin comes on in, brings out the ball. Coming up to bat is Bill White. Bill White set up, ready for the pitch. Jackson's ready to fire. And Lou Brock is heading out towards second base. He's trying to steal. Bertel fires it back in, gets it over to Pena. Pena puts him out, and it's a caught stealing for Lou Brock. 2-6 for all the scorekeepers who are out here playing with me. And it was a strike right in there. It was a weak swing by Bill White. We are now at 2 out. Bottom of the 9th inning. Bill White is up to bat. Here we go. It's a 13. And Larry Jackson walks White. That's only his second walk of the game. We've been extended one more. Ken Boyer is our batter. Ken Boyer has gone 0 for 3 today. He's grounded to the pitcher, grounded to the second, grounded to the pitcher. Here we go. 2 down. 4-2 game. Ken Boyer is our man. Here's the pitch. It's a 34. And Ken Boyer hits out deep towards center field. Billy Williams is heading back, makes the catch. Game is over. The Chicago Cubs 4, the St. Louis Cardinals 2. And this has been brought to you by Old Style Beer. We'll be back in a minute to give you the final synopsis and the stats of the game. Oh, what a great game. There we go. Nope. By the way, can anybody sit there and tell me when they started holds and blown saves? I know about the blown saves part. I remember that because I used to be part of the fireman records. There's always 2 points against the relievers if they had one to go against them. But holds. Okay, here we go. Here's our synopsis here. Let me get into my file here real quick. Okay. As always, I do pitching first. For the Chicago Cubs, we're going to look at the St. Louis Cardinals first. Bob Gibson with 6 2/3 innings. Gave up 4 runs on 8 hits. He walked 5 and struck out 7. He's the losing pitcher of record. Walks is what killed him more likely than not. Was what killed him really. Tracy Stallard came in, pitched 1/3 of an inning, had a strikeout. Here's something rare. Here's something weird, guys. And if you look at the relievers from the St. Louis Cardinals, Tracy Stallard faced 2 guys, but his last out was a strikeout. Barney Schultz is all 3 outs for strikeouts. Other than 2 hits, they were strikeouts. Because Barney Schultz pitched a full inning, 3 strikeouts. So the Cardinals had 11 strikeouts for the entire game. For the Chicago Cubs, and root for the Cubbies. Larry Jackson pitched a complete game 4 hitter. Gave up 2 runs, both in the first inning on a home run by Bill White. Struck out 5, walked 2. The Cubs had a double play in there. And for our bats, for the Cardinals, only 4 hits. Nobody really had a multiple hit game. The only job was done by Bill White, who had 1 home run. He had 2 RBIs. He also walked twice. He was both of Jackson's walks, too. Ken Boyer grounded into the double play. Bill White had the home run. Bob Uecker had a sacrifice hit, and Lou Brock got caught stealing. The Cardinals only left 2 runners on base. They did not have runners out there. You can't win if you don't have them out there. Bob Uecker had 12 putouts. Bill White had 6, so that's pretty much a majority of them. Not many in the assist department in this game here. A lot of fly ball outs and strikeouts. For the Cubs, Ron Santo had 2 for 3. He had a double. Scored a run, had an RBI. But Ernie Banks with 3 for 4. Had 2 RBIs. He also had a double. Dick Bertel went 2 for 4. Had a good clutch hit for a double and an RBI. So he also struck out twice. Ernie Banks, Dick Bertel, Ron Santo all had doubles. Roberto Pena had a triple. Ernie Banks had 2 RBIs. George Ulbin had the sacrifice hit, and Ron Santo himself was caught stealing. This, fellas, was a well-played game. It's the kind of games I like. This is why I enjoy NP3 a little bit different than the other one. It plays a lot of games like this. If I show you my 1956 season, I have 4 of the last 5 games. I'm going to get you, Beatles. Last 4 of the last 5 games that I played in the 1956 season that I've got running were what everybody knows as, and it's now becoming words with our 30-man crew. If you get more of the guys who come here to watch my games, I call them Clint Park specials. They end up getting done in the 9th inning. I have too many of those. It's wonder why I'm now on a beta blocker. Guys, again, I thank you all very much. It is past 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. I've got to catch the news. I have to work tomorrow. Unfortunately, it is the end of the month. And I am the medical payment poster, and I handle $250,000 a week. So we got to push for the end of the month. I've probably got $300,000 waiting for me at the desk. I got to push it all within 3 days. So you guys have fun. I will try to be back on tomorrow. More likely than not, I'm going to play more of NP3 than I probably am of Digital Diamond. Don't get me wrong, guys. But I'm finding that the play-by-play here is a whole lot harder. You got to get a bit of an imagination. I'll take anybody who wants to use words. I will put them to use in my games. I'll even find sayings if I can. You guys have a great evening. Al is on, I think. He's doing Beatles. As a matter of fact, he's doing the Beatles decade. Not sure what game he's playing. I thought he wasn't going to play one until next week. And I think somebody else is on. I'm not sure who it is, but definitely Al's on with the Beatles decade game. Let's go drive him up the wall. Thank you guys very much. Have a great evening, and it has been fun. I want to thank Beatles, Max, Jester, all you guys. You've all been great, and it's been fun having you here as all times. Jester, enjoy your war games, by the way. I do watch them. You just don't know it. Thanks.